we have Helen and Linda that should be coming, and then we'll get started. And um, by the time you have to leave, we should be almost done because it's a short class today. So that's a bonus. Let's see, how far away are you guys from Zimbabwe? Like in time? Oh, it's breaking. Oh, hmm.
We have the same time as
Oh,
Zimbabwe.
very good.
Yeah, we're in sync. Yes.
Okay, that sounds good.
Mm. I would say when you're out of South Africa, the time changes.
Okay. Um, I know that Dr. Steve and Dr. Vicky are visiting um South Africa sometime. They're there. They should be there already.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
where.
they're going Zimbabwe first. They're
I
going
think
to Zimbabwe first,
I
and
don't
then
know.
yeah, they will be here by the week
Okay.
of the 14th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, very good.
yeah,
Nice.
yes.
Yeah, they were talking about their travels and
So,
how they were snowed in. They were
mm,
had a lot of snow with their airplane flights.
okay. Yeah, we see them on the 14th.
That's awesome. Well, I sent hugs with them.
Yeah, we're looking forward to see them.
Good. Good, good. They're wonderful people.
Okay, I'll get it.
Okay, good.
Yes, they
Oh,
are.
that's fun. Okay, if I break up, I am so sorry. I don't know why. There might be clouds outside. I'm not sure. It'd be a network thing, who knows? But let me go ahead and start with the notes, or I call them class discussions, but they're not really discussions because I don't discuss. I just talk and talk and talk. Okay, pulling stuff up here. Okay, right. We have 1 week. Last time I did the class was I think it was October, or maybe it was into November, and my network was definitely out. It wasn't just breaking up, it was completely out. And so what I had to do was I went down um, down the road, and I had to hook up to one of the public Wi-Fis, and I was teaching outside and it was quite loud, but we were able to have some class time. So I have the notes from then also, and it's kind of fun to read through. Well, I'm going to go over week 4, and then I'm going to just skim over weeks 1, 2, and 3 to see if there's any questions about what we have talked about. I loved all the writing that was submitted, so that was very awesome. Good job. Oh, good. I moved my computer, so I'm hoping it'll stay hooked up nicely. Yeah, that time in November, couldn't even log on. It was interesting. Okay, let's see, share. Okay. And then I had a student that was attending on her phone, and I kept making the things that I would share on the screen so tiny. And finally, one day she said, Professor, I can't see that. It's too tiny. And then I felt so bad. So that's why I blow stuff up sometimes and make it smaller to look at it and then bigger so we can read it. Just trying to make it so everybody has access. Okay, so we have week 4. Let's see. Gotta clear my screen here. Okay. Um, I think we're going to be talking about the analytical um, essay. We're also going to be talking about thesis statements and creating a good one and critically evaluating um, our reading. So we have the main purpose of analyzing a text is to critically evaluate its content and structure. And that's because it helps you understand how and why the author communicates their message. And by examining the text organization, and these are important, the organization, tone, evidence, and language, you can uncover the author's purpose or biases and techniques and determine how effectively the text achieves its goals. Um, Next one, analyzing a text can help you identify the author's arguments and supporting evidence by examining how ideas are presented and what claims are made and what facts or examples are used to back them up. It it really just allows you to see the logical connections between the author's main points and their proof. And it helps you judge whether the argument is strong, weak, or biased. And uh, let's see. Next one says the following are likely steps in analyzing a text: identifying the main ideas and themes, evaluating the author's use of language, considering the text's historical context, if relevant. And these steps help you understand what the author is saying, how they're saying it, and why it matters. Always have to find out why it matters. Okay, number 4. Overall, analyzing a text helps you develop a deeper understanding of the content because it encourages you to look beyond the surface meaning and to examine the author's purpose, the tone, the structure, and the choices. And this process sharpens your critical thinking. It reveals underlying themes or messages and really just helps you appreciate how ideas are built and also conveyed or given, made a point. Number 5, a thesis statement is the central argument of your research paper because it clearly expresses your main point or claim and guides the direction of your entire paper. It tells readers what to expect. It keeps your writing focused and helps you organize your evidence to support your argument effectively. It's like the hub. It's cute. It's short. A thesis statement should be debatable because it needs to present an argument that can be challenged or disagreed with. Um, if everyone would automatically agree with it, there's nothing to prove. Um, a debatable thesis invites discussion, encourages critical thinking, and gives you something to support with evidence, turning your paper into a persuasive and meaningful piece of writing. Now, there's some things that we think are not debatable. Like we know that um, Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit are one. That is not debatable for us. However, it might be debatable to someone else. So it depends on your audience. On if you're talking to a bunch of people who already believe, that doesn't seem like something that's very debatable. But if you're talking to unbelievers, they might think, I don't know about that. And so always remember who you're talking to in order to see if what you're saying is debatable or somebody can disagree with it. Um, Need to fix this. There we go. You do need to avoid using I in your thesis statement um, to keep your writing formal and objective and focused on evidence rather than personal opinion. We just don't use the word I in your thesis. Other parts of your paper, yes, but not in your thesis statement at the beginning. All right, a good thesis statement should be an answer to a research question because it clearly states your position or conclusion about a topic. Um, the the research question is like it guides your investigation, and the thesis provides your focused response based on evidence. Um, like in in other words, the thesis tells readers exactly what you discovered to believe to be true after examining the issue. So, um, That is what you've looked up, what you've researched, and what you are stating. A good thesis statement should present an argument that can be supported with evidence because strong academic writing is built on proof, not on opinion. So your thesis gives readers a claim to evaluate, and the evidence you provide, facts, examples, and research shows that your argument is credible and logical and well-founded. The thesis statement is the foundation of your research paper because it sets the direction and focus for everything you write. It tells readers its main argument, um, organizes your ideas, and ensures that all evidence and um, analysis in your paper support a clear central point. So, without a strong thesis, the paper can become unfocused or sometimes even confusing. And that's not good for anybody. Okay. So I will send that to you in your email. Let me grab another one over here. I don't know. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and go over some more about the thesis statements before I do a review on week 1, 2, and 3. If we get to that, great. If not, we can do it another time. But since we're already into talking about thesis statements, I'd like to continue that so that we don't lose focus. So let me pull this up. Okay. I know you can't see anything on the screen, but I will share this with you in just a little while. My goal for each class is to send out the notes or what we discuss the same day. I used to send it out sometimes the same day, and sometimes I would send it out on Monday, but my goal is to send it out the same day. That way, if you have extra time after class and you want to get it done, you can do the quiz, you can look over the notes, see what you um, need to think about for your next assignment. So that is my goal. I will hopefully send that out all today. Okay. Um, so like we were talking about, a thesis statement's the main idea or the central argument of an essay. It tells the reader exactly what the writer's trying to prove, explain, or discuss. It's like a roadmap. It sets the direction for the entire paper. A strong thesis is specific, clear, and arguable. It doesn't just state a fact, but it takes a position. And develop to develop a thesis statement. You want to start by analyzing the essay prompt or topic. What you ask yourself, what's the main point I want to make? Or what do I believe about the subject? So if you have a subject and you want to, like we're going to be doing analytical essays, what am I wanting to analyze? What am I wanting to get my message across? What message? And then you narrow your focus to one idea rather than trying to cover too much, because um, that could be for like a research paper. But when you're just doing a small essay, you don't want to have to write so much. I mean, some people are into it, but you know, we're just trying to get these different ways of thinking down. So we don't want our papers to be too long. Um, Once you know your main claim or your main idea, um, you need to think of three main reasons or pieces of evidence that will support it. So for the analytical essay, excuse me, we're going to analyze a statement. You come up with a topic, and then you would have to find three pieces of evidence that support that. Um, I've had, wow, all sorts of different topics that people have written about, and everyone nailed it. They once they understood the assignment, they got it down and it was wonderful. This is one of the easiest is not the right word, but one of the essays that once you understand it, it's really kind of simple to think about. I lost my screen. There we go. Okay. Um, so once you know your main claim, your three main reasons of evidence, um, they will form the basis of your body paragraphs. So you'll have your thesis statement or your introduction um, paragraph, and then one paragraph, the next one, two, three, and four, that will be discussing your 3 points on how you're defending your position. And then the last paragraph, the fifth paragraph, is like the summary stating what you said again in a simple way and just wrapping it up. Like, this is why I believe that this point is true. And that would only take about 2, 3 sentences that clearly express your position. So one um, one example is about social media and a thesis statement or a topic that could be weak, that just states a fact, could be social media is popular among teenagers. That is a fact. People know it. Not every teenager, but most teenagers, it's a fact. So that's kind of not um, a really strong thesis statement. An example of a strong thesis statement would be it's a little bit more wordy, but it's specific, it's arguable, and it's supported by clear reasons. Um, Although social media helps teenagers stay connected, its overuse can lead to anxiety, poor sleep, and decreased face-to-face communication. So it talked about social media, how it helps teenagers stay connected, but it can lead to The three things that it listed were anxiety, poor sleep, and decreased face-to-face communication, or they don't go out and see each other anymore. It's just all online. So there were three reasons. And then at the end, it would be stating the fact again in a different way. So that's just a small example. I will send that little blurb. Okay. Are there any questions so far? I still have a lot of explaining to do, but
Nothing from my side, Professor.
okay. Sounds good.
Well,
Sounds good.
nothing from our side as well, yet, Professor.
Okay. All right. Both of you write so well. I'm honored to be able to go on this journey with you. Your writing makes me just so proud of you.
Thank you so much, Professor. Appreciate it. We are
Thank
trying.
you. Thank you so much.
It's a
The
natural,
Bible says two is better than one.
yes, this is true. And use that. Definitely use each other, help each other. That's so good. Okay. Okay, so on this screen, it should say step-by-step drafting process for analytical essay 101. Okay. So I'm trying to move my screen here. Okay. And this is if you were given a topic. And we're not giving you a topic, we're letting you choose the topic. There's a big variety of topics you can look at and examine. But if you were given a topic, know exactly what you're being asked to analyze. The theme, rhetorical strategies, character data, and underlying keywords. Okay, annotate the sources. Okay, let's see. Trying to get rid of the circle. I don't know how to get rid of my circle here. Oh, okay then. I guess the circle is just going to be on the page. Oh, there it went away. Okay, good. If I was to give you a topic, the next thing that you would do is you would find sources about the topic, or when you give yourself your topic, rather, you try to find things that support your beliefs, and you try to. Oh, hello, Linda.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Okay, there we go. All right, good. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
We're just going over analytical essays and topic sentences, thesis statements, rather, and how all that works together. So when you figure out what you want to write about, and you go looking for sources of evidence, a lot of people chose the Bible, a lot of people chose academic articles. Look through the the text. We can't really highlight the computer, but if you want to print it out, feel free. You can highlight that, but you can take notes. You can, if you have it on Word, you can do all the highlighting and the circling and jot quick reactions in the margins. Look for repeated images if you have images in your articles. Shifts in tone, unusual word choices, or logical moves in an argument. Basically, critical reading. Don't just skim the articles and say, I just want to get this done. Does this have anything to do with what I'm talking about? Read the actual article and see if, sorry, I'm distracted by the screen trying to make it bigger. See if you can get the important points out of it. Oh, I just love computers. There we go. Okay. Yay. I fixed it. Um, my screen. Oh, I just learned something new. Ah, okay. There's tabs at the top when you're presenting something. I did not know that I could switch between them so easily. That makes me happy. It's the little things, you know, just gotta enjoy the little things and try to adjust for them. Okay, the next thing is when you do find your topic and you have found some evidence that somebody has that supports what you're trying to defend, you ask yourself, what choices did the author make, and why do they matter? Are they in line with what you are wanting to defend? Are they thinking along the same lines, same focus? How does the element support the overall meaning or purpose of your paper? So turn observations into questions you'll answer. You're reading something and you go along and you see, oh, this really goes along with my topic, my thesis statement. Well, make sure that it answers what your thesis statement is about. If you're talking about the social media with teenagers, you wouldn't be talking about social media in marketing or business. You would probably keep that out because teenagers really don't do that sort of thing, although it might be an excellent article. Whoa. Okay. Draft a workable thesis. Claim plus reasons. So this is important. Write one clear sentence that stakes a claim and hints at the main lines of support. So here's an idea. It's an example structure. You don't have to use these words. It's just to give you an idea of how you could say something. Although blank appears blank, the author's use of this, and this reveals this. So I could say something like, although, let's see, I'll just use the social media thing again. Although social media appears appealing, the author's use, and that the author of the article that we're defending, use of this, and this, reveals that it's detrimental to our children's social development. And that way, it makes it arguable and specific. You're only talking about 3 different things. You don't have to talk about if there's like 5 things listed in their article, you don't have to talk about all 5. Just talk about the 3 of them. You can talk about all 5. It will lengthen your paper, and that's fine. I don't mind reading that, but we all have busy lives, and okay. And then so if you want to just do the 3 points, that works. Okay. Oh, after. Okay, create a quick outline, 3 to 5 body paragraphs. That usually it's 5. And that includes the thesis statement or introduction paragraph, the 3 supporting topic points, and then the conclusion paragraph. So for each paragraph, you need to, for each paragraph list, topic sentence, connect to the thesis, 1 or 2 pieces of evidence, quote or detail, and I'll come back to that in just a moment, analysis, or explain how what you just wrote supports what you're trying to say, and a mini conclusion or transition to the end. Okay, 1 or 2 pieces of evidence, quote or detail. This is where you will be using your references. So you'll have a reference page at the end, your title page, your essay, and your reference page. For now, just we're going to do simple references. Some people have already learned how to do references somewhere, somehow. You're amazing. And some have not learned that at all. And that's okay, because I'm not grading you on your references. I'm going to be teaching you about it before we grade on it. So what I want you to do is when you figure out what your topic is, and you find an article that is of the same topic, and you saw a sentence in there that supports what you're trying to say, you can include that sentence in your writing, as long as you notate, and I will show you how to do that, as long as you notate where you found it. That when you notate that, when you have your parentheses and the author's name and the page number, that is not plagiarism. That is quoting a reference, because on the reference page you'll list it. But if all you do is you copy down the sentence word for word in your own writing, like you thought of it yourself, that would be plagiarism. So as long as you reference it, it's wonderful. It's not plagiarism, and it shows good research. It shows you took the time to go find your what do you call it? Your defense, or your reasons to support. All right, let me take a look at something. Okay. Mm, gather and annotate evidence. Okay. This is, let me see how to state this exactly. All right. When you're reading to find support for your topic, you might come across so much information. You might not come across very much information at all. It just depends on how well researched your topic is. Don't list everything. Don't list everything that you see. I mean, it could be full of quotes, and your reference page could be so long. Don't list everything. Just do the strongest ones. Do the ones that really struck you first, that really just meant the most to you, that supports your thesis. And like it says, for each, write a one-sentence note, what it shows and why it matters. And these notes will help you with your analytical essay. It will help you figure out, well, what do I really want to say? What does this sentence make it stronger? Or does this one make it stronger? So pick the strong ones. Okay, right body paragraph. We've kind of gone over that a little bit, in different ways. Yeah, and less sentences are better than 10 sentence summaries. You don't need to write that much to get the assignment done or to understand what you're supposed to be doing. You don't need to write a lot. I had a student one time ask me if they were supposed to write a 10-page, not a 10-page, a 6-page paper, and they misunderstood. They were supposed to write a 6-paragraph paper. I'm glad that we were able to figure out it wasn't for 6 pages. That's a lot of work. Remember, family first. We can adjust things in the classroom, but family first. Okay, just thought I would put that public service announcement out there. Family first. Don't forget. Schoolwork can be second or third. Okay. When you're writing your, I keep calling it topic sentence or thesis, whatever is the first part. You're sweet. You start with a brief hook, an observation, a question, or a fact. And you want to get your reader hooked into your reading. You want them to want to read your paper. An observation, a question, a striking fact. Okay, so sometimes a striking fact right away is one of the best ways you can get someone to read your paper. That's hard. You need to find a fact right up front and plop it in there. Some people are really talented at writing like that. Offer necessary context, the title of the author and situation. So when you're using a reference, you are able to talk about the situations around the quote that you're going to use. You can talk about the author and their credentials. You can talk about where they're coming from. Just make sure to use that reference, okay, to put in your references page. Keep background information minimal. Readers want your analysis. So if you talk about why this particular fact is important, you can talk about the author, but don't give a life story about the author. That we don't need to know the life story. We just might need to know that they are the president of their business, and that's why they are credible. Okay, let's go up a little. Write the conclusion strategically. This is important too, because the thesis or the beginning of your paper is where people get hooked into what you are writing. And when you are finishing up your essay, yes, the end one, the last paragraph is kind of a repeat, but don't actually repeat the paragraph, the first one. You use the last paragraph to do a summary about what your topic was about. You need to end with, like when you're reading a book, you don't want to hear about the introduction again. You don't want to hear all about the setting and everything again. You want to hear how it ends. What makes that story a good one? What makes that story believable or entertaining? So don't just repeat the thesis. It's been done before. That's why this is one of the points that is very important. Okay. After you have done your thinking about your analytical essay and you have maybe done an outline, it's not required, but maybe you've thought about how you're going to write it out, and maybe even you've written your essay. Revise for argument and clarity. I can't remember where we talk about peer editing, but we can do peer editing at this point. You can send it off to your relative, your friend, your colleague, someone who can read with a critical eye. But you also need to read your writing with a critical eye. And typically, when I do mine, I need to give it a day. If I'm done writing, I'm not going to go back and look at it right away because I know exactly what I meant to say, but it might not say that so clearly. So I usually give it a day. That's why, P.S., that's why you don't want to wait till the last minute. And then I'll go back and I'll reread it, and I might catch something because I've rested. I've had some time away from my writing. So I'm able to see it with fresh eyes. And I ask myself, are my claims supported? Is every paragraph analytical and not a summary? Does each sentence move the argument forward? We're going to cut the fluff, tighten the reasoning, and strengthen your topic sentences. So if you've got extra words in there, take your extra words out. Meant to take that out. On the next one. Okay. Edit for style, grammar, and citations. Remember, if I have not taught you about something, then I will not be grading on that. I'll just be grading on whatever I've taught you. So, according to what has been turned in so far, you all are very good at your punctuation, your grammar, and things like that. We're just learning different ways to write. So fix your punctuation, your sentence variety. Don't start every sentence with the word I. Your word choice, use variety of words. Don't keep saying the same word over and over in lots of sentences. Use Google or some sort of thesaurus to find different words that you can use that might enrich your writing. Ensure that all your quotations are punctuated and cited per the required style, APA, which I will teach you about reference pages, and check your quotations are accurate. Typically, if we're just copying them down from something that we've read, it's usually right, but you might check it again and see if you've missed any words or that it makes sense or a word is spelled incorrectly. And after you're done editing your paper, in just my way of doing things for my own papers, I would give it another day, and I would try to stretch out when I looked at my papers, because like I said, the rest, doing other things, getting things done, and looking at it another day does really help. You want to possibly read it aloud. It does catch awkward phrasing, because if when you start saying it out loud, it sounds kind of awkward or funny. You might be able to see, I could change that word, or maybe I should put this sentence before that sentence. It's just easier that way. And if you get a peer or a teacher to read for clarity and argumentative strength or analytical strength, that is another way to get feedback on it. And then that would be about the time that you would turn it in. Now, this is not due until the 6th week, I believe. This is the 4th week. Okay, the end of the 6th week. So you have like 3 weeks. All of week 4, all of week 5, and all of week 6. So if you're kind of understanding, kind of have questions on it, maybe this week will be for looking for a subject that you can analyze, that you can find for your topic, for your thesis statement. This might just be a thinking week. And then next week and the week after, you can work on developing your essay. So don't be thinking that you've got to get this all done all at once. The last week is probably the week that you'll be the busiest, or the 6th week, trying to edit and finish it up. So hopefully that helped and hopefully answered some questions. Okay. Let me take a look at this. We're almost done. I will do some review at the end, and that's a good time. Good times, good times. Okay. Well, we kind of talked about this next one. I'm going to go over a little bit of this. Okay, analyzing text. Drive safe. Okay, share. Analyzing text. Okay. When you, let's see, when you pick your topic to do your analytical essay, you need to think, what's the central idea or message? Why am I doing this? Not because it's an assignment, but because I need to analyze my topic. I need to think who's the main characters, what are the motivations, conflicts, and growth. Maybe the setting, when and when, where and when does the story take place? How does the setting contribute to the overall meaning, and what is the sequence of events? So when you are analyzing a short story or a poem or an excerpt from a novel, think of these things. Okay. What's the sequence of events? How are the conflicts resolved? These are just some things for you to think about. You don't have to do all of them. This is not an assignment where you have to use all of them. Point of view. From whose perspective is something told? How does this affect the reader's understanding? Or symbolism. Are there any objects or characters that represent deeper meanings? One that's really important, though, is tone and mood. What's the overall feeling or atmosphere of the text? If the text is, it might even be argumentative. It might be storytelling kind of text. Just whatever kind of tone or mood it is, remember that you see if it fits with your essay. Take notes as you read, jot down your observations or insights. Developing a thesis statement, we've talked about that. Clear and concise statement that presents the main argument. Tips for developing a strong thesis. Okay, we did talk about being specific. You don't have to be so specific that it's ridiculous. You just need to have something that's not vague or general statements. You need to be, for example, if I brought that example of social media back, if I say social media is bad, that's really vague. I need to add some details in there. I need to add maybe social media has a negative impact on teenagers. That narrows it down because it talks about the negative impacts, talks about teenagers in specific, and I could add some more details to that, but make sure that it is specific enough to where somebody doesn't start reading your essay and then suddenly in the third paragraph say, oh, I didn't know it was about this. Make sure that they know what you're talking about in your first paragraph. Okay, okay. Down a little bit, it says, example of a weak thesis. The story of the Great Gatsby is about love and loss. And a strong thesis, F. Scott Fitzgerald, they're using more details. The Great Gatsby reveals the destructive power of the American dream and the illusion of happiness. That's more detailed. They're using that. Let's see. The rest of this, we talked about the hook. We talked about stating your main argument. Okay, the rest of this is just review. So I'm trying to find the next one. Peer review and editing. Okay. Sometimes I show different things twice just because it's so good and has some good information from one week to the next week. Okay, so this says peer review and editing analytical essays. So when before you turn it in, I'm asking to share your analytical essay draft with me by email, and I will provide constructive feedback. That way, when it's all polished up and you submit it to the website, you know that you're going to get it's written well, and you have all the different parts on it, and you're going to get a really good grade on it. Okay, but I would like for you to ask a peer, or a peer as in family member, friend, somebody that you trust, to look at your paper and see what you need to add or take out, and then send it to me. I can help you polish it up. It's the same email that we've been using. Okay, so what I will be looking for is the thesis statement. Is it clear, specific, and arguable? Have you found a topic that you are able to understand and argue with? Arguments can be for something, they can be against something, but are they well supported with evidence? So if you are arguing that the Bible is the word of God and you know this to be true, then find academic articles that defend this, that even in the Bible itself, that defend this. It's the word of God. It's, we've got the red letters, we've got the there's no denying it, and you always have those negative people who are going to say, no, it's not. But what you want to do is you need to have well supported with evidence. Organization, is it well structured and logically organized? Let's see. Is the analysis insightful? Have you thought of your topic and your, have you, there's, I don't know how to explain it, but have you thought it through? Have you read the articles that you found to support it critically? There, if something doesn't make sense, it probably doesn't belong, or maybe it needs to be reworded in a different way. Style and tone, is the writing clear, concise, and engaging? Nobody wants to read something that's super, super boring. So how can you make it clear? How can you make it engaging? And grammar and mechanics. Are there any errors in grammar, punctuation, or spelling? All right, so here we have the guidelines. Typed, double spaced, 12-point font, Times New Roman font, 1-inch margins. Cite any sources you reference using APA style, if applicable. Okay, so I haven't taught that yet. Don't forget the title page. So the title page is first. The only thing that's going to be on the title page is your name, the school, my name, the date, etc. Then on the next page, you start your essay. On the last page by itself, you can write references at the top, but if you use quotes or you talk about some sort of reference that you found, go ahead and write it down. I will show you all how to format that later, but just write it down however you want. You can put the author's name, you could put the page number, you can put whatever title of the article is. I can't speak. I will help you figure that out. So that's not, I'm not grading that part. So that should be pretty easy to just put up on there. Okay, let me get to this next part. Okay, so now if you have to leave, I'm just going to quickly be going over week 1, week 2, and week 3 class discussions. And that's just to do a small review. So you can either go ahead and go, or you can go get a cup of tea and sit here with me while I just do quick review. Because basically all the new stuff is out there, and there's no new assignments, just some thinking assignments. Okay. Short class today, but that's okay. Share. Okay. Week 1, we talked about diagnostic essay. And the diagnostic essay was just to find out how everybody's doing on their writing, just to see you know, what kind of a writer you are, and if I need to teach on certain things, then I can do that. Let's see, we talked about things that make writing strong, clear and concise writing, interesting topics, strong introduction and conclusions. We talked about cliches. She was very happy. She was on cloud nine. We don't need to use cliches in formal college writing. Yeah, don't judge someone by their appearance. You can't judge a book by its cover. Yes, definitely we want to use clear writing. When you're writing, it's to be something that you're passionate about. That feeling of being passionate about something will come across in your writing. Already I have seen what some of you are passionate about, what your heart is, and it's beautiful. I love that. Let's see, use of language. Yes, when you are writing, use vivid language. Use personal anecdotes where appropriate. Pick a topic that's meaningful for you, and always reflect. Always reflect on your writing, whether you're finished with it or you're in the middle of writing it. Reflect on it. Is this what I mean to write? Is this what I'm supposed to come across with? Am I supposed to do a narrative? Am I supposed to do an analytical essay? Am I supposed to do an argumentative essay? It just, whatever you're supposed to come across as, reflect and see if it is. Okay. Yes, definitely. Okay. I'm going to share week 2 topic really quick. And week 3 was just last week, so I think we're pretty good. Yes, in a peer review, it's an overall impression of the manuscript. So when you look at someone's paper, make sure that you're not being judgy. You're not trying to be too critical in a negative way. Help them. It's supposed to be an overall impression. Maybe think, how do I feel about this paper? Are they coming across as how they are supposed to, or how they meant to? Let's see. Oh yes. Write the review in a way you would want to receive it if you were the author. If you would not want someone to state, "Oh, this was terrible. I hated this. This was just not good writing. This is all in the wrong place." It's, all these negative things. Think about that. How would you like to get your paperback and hear all these negative things? Let's think of something positive. Even if it's not something that you would write about yourself or that you strongly believe in, there's got to be something that you can find that is positive. So make sure that you are trying to be helpful. A reviewer should avoid only concentrating on typos and grammar. That is true. I do look at grammar and typos and such, but that's because I'm looking at everything. Sometimes I have to read the essays 2 and 3 times, because the first time I'm reading it for content, the second time I'm reading it for clarity, and the third time I'm reading it for typos and grammar. So don't just look at someone's paper for typos and grammar. Let's see. Yes, don't be redundant. Yes, revising is to improve your quality of writing. It's okay to have to go through your paper a second time, a third time, however many times it takes. It's okay. It's not that you're doing a bad job, but you might need to look something over again. If there is something that needs to be discussed with someone about your writing, make sure you do it in a confidential manner, meaning, don't wait till you're at the at church and say, "Hey, I read your essay, and I really think this is a very bad idea." Blah blah blah. No, that is not the time to talk about it. That is supposed to be confidential, and you're not there to talk about that stuff anyway. Um, Eliminating unnecessary words and redundancies. Yes, concise words. We want to use our words carefully and meaningfully. Don't just put a bunch of extra words in there to fill up space. I'm not really wanting to read a whole bunch of extra words, and your paragraphs don't need to really be that long anyway. If I was asking you to write a 2,000 word essay, I could understand if you had extra words in there, but it's not going to end up being that long. It's just short and sweet. And I think that was the last part of it. Okay. Wow, that was a lot. It was a lot, but this week is just picking a topic that you'll be or a story or some other writing that you can do an analytical essay on. The one that I keep coming back to is about the social media with teenagers. There's all sorts of topics you could choose from. Um, if you are, if it's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're struggling to find a topic that you'd like to maybe start looking at, researching, let me know. I can give you some hints and tips. They'll most likely be general, but you could think of, you could look at those and decide if you want to do some of those. There's, keep having pop-ups on my screen. The world is open to you to do the analyzing of something. I think we had somebody do an analytical essay on, I think it was it last week or the week? Somebody did an analytical essay on Dr. King's speech, and I think I almost cried. It was amazing. Somebody did an analytical essay. Oh, okay. On the effects of smoking and why we should not, or yeah, I would love to do that. I could give you some ideas and things like that. I will email them to you. That might be probably Monday before I get a chance to do that. And that would be your Monday evening. So it might not be till Tuesday that you get it, but I will try to do that. Sometimes just having little tips and such help bring out other ideas. So I will try to give you guys some ideas. Yes, definitely. Um, Other than that, I don't really have much else. And again, I'm just so blessed to be able to do this with you. And um, I'm impressed. Again, I'm going to tell you, I'm impressed with your writing so far. So, all of you. So I feel very lucky. I'm very happy. So, if there's any questions, as always, let me know. Um, I'm getting back to you as quickly as I can with your writings and questions. So far, I think I've got writings from or emails from almost everyone, and that's good. I am here to help you with anything that you need. Well, almost anything. Can't help you cook dinner, but you know. Okay, so I'm so glad. Um, let's go ahead and um, I didn't open with prayer, but I think God probably understands that I was just so excited to get started, and I'm like, I'm just like, oh, sorry, God, thanks. But let's go ahead and pray. Um, God, thank you for the work that we did today and for getting us through this and the patience that everyone has with me, and help us leave this virtual room calm and not nervous about what's assignment is coming up next. And give us some ideas about what we can write about, something that would honor you, and watch over us as we go. Keep us safe and our families safe and happy. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yay.
Amen.
All right, everybody.
Professor,
Yes.
I just have one question I wanted to ask regarding the English. Is it the English advance?
Yes.
Should you, what do you recommend? Should we, after this one, immediately go into that, or can we postpone it and do another subject and come back to it?
You can. Either way, it it's not it's sort of like this class. I teach it also, and it is just writing, let's see, you'll be writing 2 essays, and then you'll do like an online project, like a PowerPoint project or something. But
Okay.
it, you can do it either way. It's still going to be the same. So depending on if you want to take a break from writing essays, this one you have 4 essays and a research project, which is just another bigger essay. And
Okay.
that one is a lot less writing, but it's the end project is I think it's a lot more fun personally. But
Okay.
yeah, that's a professor talking. So, you know, um I've had students that say that they were glad that they took it right afterwards, and
Okay.
some really needed a break and like needed to take some other class, the one of the Bible classes, or now there's apparently there's a math class.
Yes,
Um,
yes, we saw it. I saw it, yeah.
yeah. So I mean it really depends, but if you're on a roll with writing by the end of this class, then I would say keep it going, because I will be teaching the next class and the one after that, and then possibly the one after that, and then we'll see how many people need to take English, because I only teach it for however many people are signed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. because I have signed up for another class for another subject for the March semester, but I just wanted to inquire from you, what is your recommendation to go to another subject or to just complete the English classes? Because I
Oh,
see there is moving further into other subjects, there is recommendations or requirements that we need to have either the English Composition 101 and the advanced one, or some subjects is just the 101, the
oh,
English
yes.
101. Yeah.
So I think it depends on what you're going to be taking after this. If you take one class at a time, then you might be able to find a class that only needs English 101.
Mm,
But then
yeah.
there are classes that you need both. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, you could, I mean, you're a strong enough writer. I think that you could probably do it right after this.
Okay.
Um, I think that that would be a good idea. If you take two classes, that's a lot with a family and a busy life. Um, but only you know if you can do two classes at a time. If you do another class, then I will still be the teacher for the May classes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I also don't know if I'm able to do both, but I sure want to try.
Oh,
Otherwise, I'll never know how to juggle in between two two different subjects. But I'll see. I'll see. I'm gonna pray about it. I'll see how it goes.
that's true. So very
Yeah.
true. Um,
Yeah.
it
If you
was
see me, you see me.
yeah, that's true. Well, very good. Just think about it as time goes on and decide
Yes.
later. Don't make a final decision yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do this. Yeah. I'll do so. Thank you so much, Professor.
You are so welcome. And Linda and Ronald, you have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you so much, Professor. Same with you.
Thank you.
Blessings. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.